This is the plaintiff, Samoa Judy. She says she rented an apartment from the defendant and had a 1-year lease, and when it expired, she became a month-to-month tenant. She didn't really understand that meant she could be thrown out at a moment's notice. That's exactly what the defendant did to her, and now the louse won't return her $2,850 security deposit, so she's suing. This is the defendant, Tita Ang. She says the plaintiff was constantly short on rent, so she evicted her, and her securities being used for the rent the woman owed. There were also damages to the apartment. The woman has a bad attitude, and she isn't going to be subjected to her verbal insults for a moment longer. She's accused of losing her patience. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $3,042.63 for additional rent, damages, and legal fees.
All parties, please. The People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Williams presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome,
Okay, Ms. Judy, you are suing Ms. Ang, your former landlord, for $2,850 that you say she owes you, double the security deposit that you say she's wrongfully withholding. You have a counterclaim against her for $3,042 in additional damages that you say she owes you. All right, let me hear from you first.
Yes, so I was evicted out of my apartment. Well, I was late on my rent. So I was.
Did you have a month-to-month or a lease?
At this point, I was on a month-to-month.
Okay.
Once my lease was over, she asked me if I would go on a month-to-month, and I said that was fine.
Okay.
So.
How long had you been living there?
I was there for a year when I was on the lease. So once my lease was over, I had went on for month-to-month.
So by the time you were evicted, how long were you living there? A year and what?
Well, I was evicted in September, so about.
Year and a half?
Yeah, about a year and a half.
All right, and why were you evicted?
I don't know. Basically, I guess because I was late on my rent, and she kept saying.
Were you always late on your rent?
No, not always. I was late a few times before, yeah.
All right. So you get the notice that says that she wants you out, and you go to court how long after getting the notice?
Well, I actually paid her first. I had texted her, and I said, am I being evicted or can I stay? I was basically trying to work stuff out with her. I had asked her if I can send her $700 or was she going to evict me.
And your total rent was how much?
$950.
Okay.
So she said, go ahead and send me the $700.
Okay.
So
that's not an answer, but okay. So you go ahead and send her the $700 and she's evicting you anyway.
It's not an answer, so I took it as, okay, I'm not going to be evicted if I send her the money,
Right.
So I sent her the money, and then I still later on received eviction papers. So I asked her, why am I receiving eviction papers? I thought, we had came to some type of agreement or whatever. And so when I sent her...
At that point, had you paid the full $900 or no?
Yeah, I sent her more money, and she had texted me back, Samoa, why are you sending me more money? But clearly it was because I had only paid her $700 the first time, so I still owed her the $250. So at the time,
so you sent her the $250 after you got the papers or before you got the papers?
I believe I was already paid off the full $950 before I got my eviction papers.
Okay, so you get the eviction papers, and then you text her, and you call her, and what do you do?
Well, she texted me. She said, why are you still... Oh, after I got the eviction papers, yeah, I was explaining, asking her, why am I being evicted? I thought we came to...
That month paid for what? When did you...
July.
Okay.
This was in July.
And you paid $700 what day in July?
I would have to look back at my messages. I'm not sure.
More or less. Was it the first week or the second week or the third week?
Probably the third week.
Third week. And then when did you finish paying July?
Or, I'm sorry, so I paid the second week and I finished by the third week.
Okay. And then, so you got the documents and the documents had you go into court on the end of August, right?
Correct.
Did you pay August?
I went in there with the rent money, but they ordered
Went in where?
I went into the courtroom with...
Okay. But your court date was August 30-something, right?
Yeah, well, because she had texted me and said, why am I still paying her?
No, right. So you didn't pay August 1st, right?
Right, because...
Okay. Yeah, no, you don't have to explain. You're being evicted and I'm not stupid. I do get it.
Right.
You're supposed to pay August 1st, but I'm just establishing whether you did or didn't is all I care about. So then you go to the hearing, and at the hearing, is there a judge or a mediator?
A mediator.
Okay. So, and is she present?
No.
No. And she had a lawyer?
Yes.
And the lawyer and you and the mediator negotiate a settlement.
No, they kicked her lawyer out, and it was just me and the mediator. The mediator
Well, they
told
can't
the lawyer.
kick the lawyer out. And
Well, the mediator told the lawyer, like, I don't want you in the room for whatever reason. She was present at a point in
I
time.
mean, the mediator can speak to each party alone.
I think that's what they did. Yeah.
That's probably what they did.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying what happened. Like,
Well,
I
they
was
didn't.
present, and then she told her to...
Who is the gentleman with you?
My father.
Was he there?
No.
Okay, so, all right, so they have him leave so they could talk to you privately, and then what is agreed among the parties, according to you?
Yeah, so the mediator told me, because she said, like, you can pay for August rent, because, so prior to me going to the meeting, they said, a marshal, I'm sorry, he said, to at least bring my rent money with me for August. So that's exactly what I did. I brought the money with me. I thought I was going to pay her, but I was also going to court to see if I can get an extension because I really didn't know what I was being kicked out for. So I was hoping that I would have more time to move out. And the mediator said, don't pay for August and September to keep your money and just move out. Because I said it would be kind of ridiculous that I have to pay and then figure out where I'm going to live after.
Well, not really, because you lived it. So technically speaking, you have, like, you don't get free rent when you have to leave. A month to, you know what a month to month means, right?
I didn't at the time.
But now
so
you
that's
do.
why I was comfortable agreeing.
Now you
Now I
know that
understand.
typically speaking, it means each of you can give each other, but it works for you too. It keeps you loose and limber.
Right,
You found another place or a roommate or
Exactly.
a boy or a girl or whatever
Exactly.
you want to do, you can leave.
Exactly.
And so you're not tied to a lease. So it's good for you if that's what you want. It's good for her if that's what she wants.
Right.
So that's the arrangement you guys had. You had to know somewhat, because she didn't ask you to sign another lease and asked, would you go month to month?
Right.
You need to know somewhat what that means, that you don't have a year.
Well, I kind of
or you'd
looked
have
at
a
it-
lease. What's the point of the lease? Right.
But I kind of looked at it like you said, like if I did want to move out because if she was going to keep like giving me problems. So every time like I paid any time before the 10th or something, she's like, do you have my rent? Do you have my rent? Do you have my rent? So I kind of felt like...
Were you supposed to be paying on the 10th?
No, but...
Were you supposed to be paying on the 1st?
Before the 10th.
Right, yeah.
Right.
So she doesn't want to, no landlord wants to have to talk to you every single month about
Right.
rent. They don't.
Right.
The perfect tenant to a landlord is the one they never talk to. Okay, so now you're in court, and according to you, the mediator tells you that. Did you and the lawyer sign anything?
Me and a lawyer?
No.
You weren't there. Did you
No, not
and
that I
the
know.
lawyer sign anything? You guys didn't sign anything?
No, not that I know.
Okay, let me hear from you.
Okay. What do you want to hear?
Yeah, so she's living there a year and a half. She's late on the rent. And
Yes.
Was she a problem all the time, or just that one time and you had it?
Oh,
What was
no. She problem like 6 times since she's been living there.
Okay.
About letting rent. At that July month, she was already on the help from the COVID. For 6 months, she got from the government help. Until June, when July come, she have no money to pay me. Until the 20th, she say she won't have the rent until the 20th.
And the rent is due on the 1st.
On the 1st, but she have until the 10th to pay. So I say, okay, when the 20th come, nothing from her, so I text her again, when can I have the rent? And she said, oh, they mess up my paycheck. I won't have the money until the 27th. And then I say, oh, I'm gonna have to file the eviction. And then she said, okay. And then I went ahead to file the eviction. And then she scared, panicked. She got me $600, not $700, but $600 to send it to me. So I talked to my lawyer. She have $600. What should I do? The lawyer said, take it. She still short you. So I took it, you know, and then, but the eviction still go on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened? What was the settlement that was reached? Because a settlement was reached. It didn't go to court in front of a judge. It was an agreement reached between. What did the lawyer tell you was the agreement?
The lawyer didn't tell me. The lawyer just said, okay.
Does anybody have a piece of paper?
I have a stipulated agreement of what they told me when I went
that's
to
what I was asking for. I thought you
Yeah.
said you didn't know. Okay, that
No,
you
I
didn't
said
have
the
anything.
stipulated agreement said that I just had to move out by September 11th.
Let me see.
I assumed that was them giving me more time to move out, but honestly, I said I went to court with my August rent, so if that's what they wanted, I would have just gave her the money. But
She also got evicted through the non-payment of rent and also through lapse of time.
Lot of times?
Lapse of time.
Well, lapse of time.
Yeah, lapse of time.
That's what she evicted me for.
Meaning what? That she has a
Meaning her
month to
lease
month
is
and you
done.
don't want her there, your lease
Yeah,
is done.
her
That's
lease
right.
is done.
In other words, she doesn't even need an answer. That's what she's saying.
Yeah.
She could just decide she doesn't want you there. She doesn't have to say, well, you're late or you're not late or whatever else. I understand that. Here's the part that I don't understand. I'm looking at the... Yeah, you did sign it. You signed the bottom of that.
Yeah, but I don't think her lawyer did. Because like I said, they took...
Yes, her lawyer did sign. Her lawyer signed right there under plaintiff's attorney, right where the lawyer's supposed to sign. And your understanding is that they forfeited the rent if you would just leave by September 11th.
Yeah, because the marshal told me I had at least a 30-day. I didn't get a 30-day notice. Like, I literally got all my paperwork like week to week. So I didn't really have a notice. Like, I didn't know I was...
I don't know what you're talking about. They gave you notice at the appropriate time. I don't know what any of that means, but I don't care. Your lawyer was over there and had an opportunity to ask for August and September rent, and your lawyer didn't. What did your lawyer tell you was supposed to happen?
Oh, she didn't tell me anything.
Well,
She just said, okay,
at some point, did she say to you, where's my security deposit?
No,
right?
they didn't. And I even asked after that stipulated agreement, I honestly thought I would see a judge at that day. And I also wanted to talk to her. She wasn't answering any of my texts, my calls, nothing. She didn't want to see me. She was treating me like we had real issues, you know?
Okay.
I was trying to handle this like an adult. And so they didn't.
No, but wait, everybody stop, okay? That's fine, but it's not personal, it's business. And if you're
No,
going to
and
be
I
paying at the
understand
end of the month, she doesn't want you and you
understand.
don't have a year-long lease. You
understand.
would have breached it if you did by paying on the end. So, there's things you got to do, there's things she has to do.
understand.
Right, so...
And then I went, like I said, I went with my rent money. I didn't have a problem.
Yeah, we already heard all that. Don't repeat
so
yourself.
they just told me don't pay her. Just keep it and move out by September 11th. And
Okay.
I did just that.
All right. My question, was, did you speak to her afterwards and ask her, hey, where's my security deposit?
I asked the court, the mediator, and she said that's a different case that you would have to go to court and
No, but did you ever ask her for the security deposit? Say, where's my security deposit?
Not that day. She wasn't present.
I know that. I'm asking about
Yes, I wrote the
ever.
letter. Yes.
Okay, how much later?
Weeks.
Probably like a couple weeks.
Okay,
like
so
2
weeks later, do you text her or you call her or
No,
what?
I wrote a certified letter through the...
Okay, and you sent it and saying, I want my security deposit. And what does she respond?
I have the letter that she responded.
Let me see her letter. Okay.
Well, I'm sorry. She texted me and said...
She texted the letter and then sent you the letter,
No,
I
she
think.
texted, and I believe I must have texted her about my security deposit as well. And I was texting her the address she can send it to, and her response was, "Don't worry about it. I'm sending a letter. You should receive it in the mail soon." And then that was the letter I received.
Okay, you did not pay August. You owe $950 plus a late fee. You did not pay September. You owe $950. 3 broken blinds, $30. Cost to fix the blacktop where you poured the oil, $750, and the lawyer's fee, $1,060. Okay, we'll talk about these 3 items first. And I'd like to talk to you. What was broken about? There's 3 broken blinds. Do you have pictures of 3 broken blinds? Because I saw 1 broken blind.
I didn't take the pictures because I didn't think we end up here.
Yeah, whenever you're going to keep a tenant's money, it's a contentious situation. So you're going to have to prove the things so never, ever, ever again, don't take a picture. You have your phone takes pictures. It's not like you needed to have brought a camera, and then you just take a picture of everything that you're complaining about. The worst that's going to happen is you have to clean out a few pictures. So what? Yeah. But I have 1 picture of 1 broken blind. How many broken blinds were there?
I believe 1.
Well, when you say you believe 1, what were the other?
Maybe the kitchen one, because I didn't take a picture of the kitchen one.
Okay. The cost to fix the blacktop where you poured the oil, $750.
Yes, because her boyfriend put oil on the blacktop, and the blacktop get melted with the oil.
Okay. Do you have a picture of that?
Yes.
Okay. Was your boyfriend pouring the oil out?
No. When I talked to her about the blacktop, she told me that I poured the oil out, and I just explained to her that I don't pour oil outside my house. I poured it in the grass, and I never poured it on her blacktop.
Because when I went there one day and I saw it,
You saw what?
And she saw that blacktop was all melted, and she was there cleaning her car.
wasn't melted.
And I asked her.
Can you not talk at the same time?
I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm asking you the question. What did you mean? Go ahead.
Yeah, when I saw her cleaning her car there, I asked her, Samoya, do you know what happened right here on your entrance right here? I said, oh, my boyfriend poured oil on it. I told him not to. And my husband also was there. I told my husband about it.
Is your husband here to
But
testify?
he's not here.
Okay, you've provided all these pictures of the blacktop, which looks like it needs repair, and it's all over the driveway. That's not the area in front of her.
Yeah, it's in front. It was in the corner.
But this spot right here is, you see that spot there that you're taking a picture of?
Yes.
Where's that? You're showing me pictures of the entire driveway where the blacktop needs repair. This is there's no question pending for you. You'll know because I'll be looking right at you and asking you a question. All right, Ms. Ang.
Yes.
All of these pictures are broken blacktop.
Yeah.
Okay, so is she responsible for that? Why are you taking those pictures?
Because that's where she poured the oil. This is her
She
stair.
went up and down the driveway pouring oil?
No, her deck was right here. Her door to go to her apartment was right here.
Yeah, let
And
me
then
see the
she
picture
just
she's
come
showing.
out. She just come out with a little railing right there. She just come out and pour the oil right in there.
Okay, well, you never saw her pour the oil.
Oh, I did not see it, but she told me.
And you didn't see him pour the oil either.
Because she told me that
Okay, but you say she told you that. Did you ever
Yes.
tell her you poured oil there?
I never told her I poured
Okay,
oil.
what else could this be but oil with the splattering the way it is?
Because that's how the
I'm
oil
not
smells.
talking to you.
Oh, sorry.
I'm talking to her.
It was already dark when I had moved in, and when I had
You haven't even seen the picture. See the picture that I'm asking
Well,
you
I
the
lived
question
there,
about.
but-
Well, then you know what it looks like.
Yeah, because
Right. So
right. She brought it to my attention because one day she had to do like a utility issue, which is the door right there. So that's when she noticed it, and there
so she did bring it to your attention beforehand. What'd you tell her it was when she asked you about it?
I said I don't know. It was.
Well,
I
she
didn't
says
pour
you
oil.
said it's oil, and it happens to look like a spillage of some sort.
Well, it wasn't from me. She asked me, and I said I don't know. And I was the one who took those pictures, and I said there was some spots in front of my neighbor's house too. So did I do that?
Right.
as
I
well?
noticed that you so you sent me pictures of
I
oil
was the one who
spills.
took-
Just a second.
Yeah. Sorry.
You sent me pictures of oil spills in front of your neighbor's house. So you're blowing the whistle on your neighbor. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
And the picture that I also sent, she had did something that patched up in front of my house where she's stating I poured the oil.
Where what?
She fixed it. I sent the picture, so it's white now. She covered it
Yeah.
up.
What did you do to that side of the house? You ended up just putting concrete?
Yes, we had to take it out, 3
Why didn't you put
inches.
blacktop for $750? How much would it have cost to re-blacktop that driveway, which it needs anyway?
More expensive, the blacktop, more expensive.
So who did that job?
The guy
Your
named-
husband?
No, it's my worker, the guy named Carlos.
Okay, and you paid him $750 to do that?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Can I see the proof that you paid him?
Yeah, I
I
paid
saw
him.
the
I have a-
receipt. Can I see the proof that you paid him?
I have a cancel check.
That's exactly it.
I don't know where to go now.
According to you, how much security deposit do you have left? $1,425, right? Because she allowed you to use the security deposit for part of your rent at some point.
Correct.
Correct. And you're suing for double because what?
Because when I went to file my suit at the courthouse, they said that I can sue for double. So they said if I
Well-
wanted to check the box, just check.
Well,
I mean, yeah.
no, I know.
just
You
went
could
by
sue.
what
No,
I was told.
every state has different rules. Your state of Connecticut allows you to sue for double if they violate the part of the statute that says you have to write a letter explaining why you're keeping the money. Some states you can sue for double if they hold your deposit and they are wrongfully withholding it. And some states call wrongfully withholding it if I decide, hey, I decide you were wrong. Boom, now you pay double. It's like Vegas. And some states say, oh, wrongfully, like you're malicious and you're like, ha, 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 I know I can't keep it, but I'm gonna. So every state has different rules. Is there more than one unit there?
Yes.
Okay, this isn't specific enough for me, nor does that look like a $750 job, but that's if you're able to prove that she told you she did that. I'm having kind of a hard time imagining her confessing. She doesn't look like a confessor.
Well, that's...
It's not a compliment when I say that. It isn't, because I don't think that you'd tell your landlord, oh, yeah, we poured oil on it. You don't look to me like the kind of person who would confess that.
I did say I poured it in the grass, but there was a bunch of cigarette butts and like Dutch wrappers down there that she asked me if they belonged to me, but again, I'm not the only tenant that lives there, and I said no.
Okay. You are counterclaiming against her and keeping her security deposit for the following reasons. You say she owes you August. You say she owes you September. We talked about the broken blinds, the oil. I don't understand why somebody didn't try to just... Where was your picture? This is interesting. Why didn't somebody just clean it rather than put cement there?
Because it had to take out, because the asphalt was all melted, was all loose, all that area, maybe 4x6, were all loose from the oil.
I think you guys were missing the grass when you were trying to pour it in the grass.
No, the grass is on the other side of the stairs. My whole side of that house is surrounded by woods. So that's why I said I would never, literally, I would never pour it on the blacktop. I used to there was a log, and I used to go over the log and pour the oil in the grass.
I don't think she'd do the cement fix if the thing was not soft and damaged.
It was already dark when I had moved in there. And like I said, there was some utility issue where they just so happened to look over there one day, and she just assumed that I had damaged her blacktop. Literally had nothing to do with me. I don't know. I just told her I don't know what happened to her blacktop.
Here's the thing about the stipulation, okay? I think she's right when she says that what these parties agreed on is that she wouldn't have to pay August or September, and that she would just leave as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. That's what happened. I'm going to tell you why I'm saying that. Typically, what I would do if I was the mediator is put a 0 on that line. Instead of doing that, she crossed it out. Both parties agree reasonable use and occupancy shall be, and then there's a line to put how much she's supposed to pay, because that's what they're there for. And she crossed that out. And then on the bottom, if the defendant does not make the agreed payment, the plaintiff may immediately file an affidavit requesting an execution without additional court hearings, and all that is crossed off, which indicates to me that your lawyer negotiated that. Your lawyer just said, okay, maybe because a lot of times landlords say, I just want her out, I just want her out. And then when you say that, they take that to mean, okay, at all costs, get her out as soon as possible. And that looks to me, because the parties, your lawyer signed it, you see? Do you have this or no?
No.
Well, your lawyer should have given it to you, because that's what they did on your behalf. And they crossed out all the money stuff.
Yeah, but I asked the lawyer said, but she still owed me the money for the rent.
No, your lawyer
what.
crossed out. That's exactly what the mediator was there for. And your lawyer the mediator crossed that stuff out.
And
is there a transcript?
No, they didn't give me that part. When I asked for a report, they only gave me the stipulated agreement part.
Can I see that?
Yeah.
When
Just a moment, ma'am. I want to hear what she has to say when she sees it, and I'll give you a copy before you leave here.
Oh no, I don't have this.
Right.
They don't have it, and they don't even have it in the court, the site, the website, court.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they don't even have that. In the court website, you can look up all the paper. They don't even have that page in there. They don't. I would have asked my lawyer. Yeah, they don't. I don't know what that is.
Well, where's the stipulated agreement that your lawyer gave you? Because your lawyer went to court that day to do something. Where is the result of that day's work? What do you have instead of this?
I just made the...
What did your lawyer give you?
They just gave me the judgment for September 11.
Give me that. Let me see that.
And the eviction lap of time.
Yep.
Just those 3. I just print out those 3.
Okay. Let's see something, because what was the actual, it was for non-payment of rent, complaint, lapse of time. You must quit her. And the notice was for non-payment of rent, but the complaint is just for lapse of time. They didn't file an action against you that's why you didn't have to pay. Not because that issue was resolved and negotiated between you folks. You didn't have to pay because they only proceeded on hey, she has no lease and we want her out. That's
Right.
it. That's what they proceeded on. So she has a right to bring up, and you guys have to litigate anew whether she has a right to keep your deposit for rent. In other words, I was under the impression that you guys had litigated the issue and that all of it had gone forward. You owe rent plus we want you out because you don't have a lease.
No, right.
The only thing that went forward is we want you out because you don't have a lease.
No.
That is the only thing that went forward because that's the only thing they filed.
No, that's what we talked about at the mediation.
Yeah, no. That's why you were told don't pay the rent, because the only thing they filed was we want her out. She would then have to file another lawsuit in order to get the rent, which is what she did in her counterclaim here. She filed another lawsuit so she can.
I'm confused.
I'm going to say it one more time and try to make it as clear as I can, but I can't make it any clearer than this. You got notice for two things. We want you out because you didn't pay rent, and we want you out because you have no lease. So we're giving you the notice that is required for both those things. Then you paid the rent, or you paid most of the rent, or you paid all of the rent. So then they only proceeded on one of the counts, which is, hey, we still want you out, but not for non-payment of rent because you paid July. Now we want you out because your time is up. That's the only thing that got in front of the mediator. That's why the mediator said, put it in your pocket. Nobody's asking you for rent. That's why. So I thought that it had been negotiated that if you just left September 11th, you wouldn't have to pay August or September, because a lot of landlords just want somebody out that badly. But now I'm seeing with what she just gave me that her lawyer filed, that in the end they only filed for the lapse of time. They did not file two counts. They filed one count. That's what was negotiated that day, which is just how much time you'll have to leave. Now, you certainly aren't going to owe all of September if the lawyer negotiated that you leave September 11th.
Right.
Normally, if you're there one day in September, you have to pay all of September, but not in this case where it was negotiated. So that will be prorated rent for September. You have to pay rent for August because you were there. This doesn't absolve you from paying rent for the reasons I've gone over. They only proceeded on hey, she has no lease part. And we've changed our minds. We want her out. So now let's talk about all the other things. Money for lawyers' fees. You're trying to get lawyers' fees in this case. You don't have a right to attorney's fees. She's not in a lease. First of all, your lease would have to say, which it doesn't because I looked at it, and either side gets attorney's fees against the other if we have to go to court. Most states will make, if the landlord's going to take it, it's going to claim attorney's fees. They also let the tenant in a lease. But that would entitle you to attorney's fees. Or you get the attorney's fees in the case where there was an attorney. There's no attorney in this case. You can't get attorney's fees from another case in this case. So you cannot keep any money for the attorney's fees. That's one. The rent, I agree with you for August, but because your lawyer signed this document giving her until September 11th, I don't agree with the entire month of September. The rent is $950?
Yes, $950.
Okay. All right. I find that she owes you the $950 for August. I find that she owes you the $30 late fee for August. I find that she owes you the prorated amount for September. That's $348.33. And when I subtract that total from the security deposit that she has, that leaves $96.66 for you. I find that from that $96.66, I'm going to deduct $20 for the blinds that shouldn't be ripped. Not $30. That leaves $76.66. On the issue of the lawyer, you're not entitled to have her pay your lawyer's fees for the reasons we've gone over. And on the issue of the blacktop, that is one of the few things that has me a little wondering in this case, because it does make sense that this is what people do, people who are too lazy to walk to the grass just open the door, and the door probably opens this way, so he just goes like that and comes in. But it's speculative enough where I'm uncomfortable charging her $750 for that. I recommend very strongly that before a tenant moves in, you take pictures of how the place looks, really close pictures. and all over to show how good it looks so that they don't say things like, hey, that thing looked like that when I got there. And then she shows me a picture of a neighbor that also looks like that. And I see the condition of your blacktop in general, which is deplorable. And so it's soft kind of everywhere. And cracked everywhere. So it's just too speculative, and I'm not going to make her pay for that. So that's 70 cents. Ooh, I forgot the interest that you should be getting, which is $2.37. Hold on.
How about the toilet that she let it running for a week?
According to you, she let the toilet run for a week, and your water bill was $945.25 instead of what it usually is, $200 or $250.
Yes.
Okay. Did you let the toilet run for a week?
No, something was wrong with my toilet. I contacted her right away, and
what evidence do you have that she let it run for a week?
The toilet, something wrong with the toilet and the water.
Yeah, but the only thing a tenant, if it's your toilet, it's your plumbing, it's your repair. The only thing that would make a tenant at fault is if they hear it running and then don't tell you, and then, so did she send you a text or something saying, hey, this thing has been running for weeks? Okay, so how are you able to prove to me that she left it running for weeks? Because I saw the text you sent her back then. You said, if this happens again, I'm going to charge you because that bill was really high. Is that bill only for her? Is that a bill for everybody?
Just for her.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, she let me know a week later, and her toilet.
How do you know it was a week later?
Because she told me.
Okay, get things in writing from the tenant.
Because when my
text
husband,
back and forth. You guys know how to text because you guys are texted a lot. She told you verbally, or she texted you? Because I didn't see that in the text.
She texted me. She said
that
something
it's been
wrong.
running for a week.
She said something wrong with the toilet.
No. I know she said that. You said she told you it's been running for a week. That would be the negligence on her part to have it running. Although half these tenants don't even know what that means. They don't get it. But, that would be the negligence. But at the time that it happened, you didn't say, hey, you owe me this money. At the time that it happened, you said, hey, my bill was really high, and this is just for your place, so you've got to say. And she was complaining all the time about the hot water, the lack, right?
Yeah.
Were you complaining about hot water here?
Yeah.
There's text back and forth about the water doesn't stay hot. I don't care, but you have a daughter?
Yeah.
My daughter really, wants to take a hot shower. And you're like, well, 20 minutes is too long for a shower. And you guys are going back and forth and back and forth. But you, at the time that it happened, I don't think you thought you had enough evidence to bill her for that. Because what your text to her was at the time, hey, as soon as something happens, you have to let me know. Because if I get a big water bill like that, you're going to have to pay the difference. And nowhere in the text does she say it's been running for a week. I don't see that. Do you have a text that says, hey, it's been running for a week? Do you have that? Because I don't see it. No, right.
But she told me.
Yes, I know, but you come to court empty-handed and then you're telling me, she confessed to this, she told me that. You have to prove it when you come to court to be able to take her money. So I am ruling in favor of the plaintiff in this case, not in the amount of the $2,850, but in the amount of $114.29, which is what would be left of your security deposit. Yes, my dear.
Also, my lights were cut off, and I brought the bill that I was credited from Norwich Public Utilities, $700, because whatever issues that I was having in that house. They actually gave me a $700 credit.
Okay. Well, good for you. It doesn't really affect my ruling, though.
Okay.
So I guess your point is that there was something wrong with the electric?
That had nothing to do with me. Yeah, that was my.
But that's electric, and this is water.
Okay.
Oh, because you have an electric heater. Right. A water heater. Electric water heater, correct?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I'm ruling in your favor, $114.29. Verdict for the plaintiff. On the counterclaim, 0, for the reasons I've already explained.
So the plaintiff does get some of her security deposit back, but not the $2,800 she was seeking, only $114. So, Ms. Ang, that's what you've got to give the defendant, or the plaintiff. She gets $114 back from you, and you don't get anything on your countersuit. Okay? You heard the judge?
Yeah, I don't know why I supposed to get it back.
Well, she
because
explained it.
She didn't pay her rent.
Well, she explained everything pretty well, so.
Yeah, but
you go think about it, okay? All right, thank you
But
very much.
I'm glad it's over.
You're glad it's over. I'm sure you are. I'll bet you are. All right, Miss Judy is on her way out of the courtroom. You won, but I know you're not really thrilled with the winning. But anyway, you didn't have to pay anything more.
I didn't win anything either.
Well, you got $114.
Oh,
you can have a good dinner with that.
Well, yeah, bag of chips and a grinder.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry, but that's the way it worked, and the judge was really very specific and spelled it out. You understand it, right? Understood. Yeah, your dad understood. So, all right, thank you very much. Good luck. Better luck next time. Okay? Thank you. All right, Harvey, what are your thoughts?
So, look, I realize, Doug, that a lot of tenants and landlords don't get along, especially at the end of a lease. But whenever possible, landlords and tenants should sit down together and go over exactly what, if anything, is going to be withheld from the security. If you sit down at a table before you have a dispute, you're more likely to resolve it.
Have you ever held a garage sale? My wife wants to have one to get rid of old toys and furniture and junk. I say it's smarter to try to sell stuff online or donate it. She says we should have a garage sale. What would you do?
I'd have a garage sale. I love garage sales. I think they're fun. I used to like going to them. Right. I don't now anymore, but I would go to them and I would find a bargain and be happy. And so something has a second life somewhere.
And we had one at our house.
Oh, we had plenty.
In our old neighborhood, we definitely had one.
We had the last two we had, all the proceeds went to a specific charity that
Right.
But it was a chance to get rid of everything and have the neighbors all come out and, have friends come over. I love any kind of party, and to me, a garage sale is kind of a party.
I'm going to take a little bit of a contrary position on this, okay? First of all, we have a guy who has to move all that crap and get it all the furniture and everything else.
You have to move it if you're donating it, too.
Right? Second of all, people come and they're going to buy stuff from me, and what if it breaks? Then they're going to be aggravated or mad and come back and say, my radio broke, my TV, whatever the hell crap.
But everybody knows it's as is at a garage sale.
The stuff is sitting all over the place. It's an invitation for somebody to trip and fall on my property at my garage sale, and then boom, all of a sudden I get sued because, it's an invitation to a premises liability lawsuit. What do you think?
I don't know.
Disagree.
They kind of assume a risk if they're tiptoeing among your stuff. Yeah. But I hear what you're saying, and you're not mistaken.
They're fun, though. They're fun to go to. You never know what you're going to find.
I don't know if you remember this. Your mother scheduled a garage sale when we were dating.
Right.
And then she scheduled a surgery and said, I can't, I'm in bed all day.
And you and I ran it?
Yeah, you and I had to run the garage sale. I'm like, what, are you kidding me? So we were out there for like 8 hours running her garage sale.
It was brutal,
right? It was brutal.
Having to haggle over prices and everything else.
She had a lot of stuff. And this surgery was elective, let's just be clear.
Right. But going to a garage sale, you always, in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, maybe I'm the guy who finds like the ancient valuable document or a Renoir painting or some valuable painting that's in there, a Picasso,
or how about
stuffed in with
you spend $5 and you get 10 hours of peace because your child has a new toy.
Right.
Oh, come on. You can't put a price on that.
I guess you're right.
This is the plaintiff, Anne-Marie Mahoney. She says she rented the top floor of her house to the defendants, the daughter and son-in-law of the woman she was dating. And boy, was that a mistake. The defendant's mother would be passed out drunk on the floor in the morning, and she knew she had to get out of the situation. Bottom line, she evicted them. They left behind a ton of trash and debris, damaged the place, and she's here suing them today for the $2,900 she's owed. These are the defendants, Eric Viana and Amber Peters. Eric says the plaintiff was the one drinking and causing a commotion at all hours of the night, and the cops were there numerous times to quiet things down. The plaintiff ended up tossing them out of the house. She put their expensive belongings out on the street to be ruined in the rain, and if anyone here's owed money today, it's them. They're accused of causing a real ruckus. The defendants have filed a countersuit for $2,700, the amount they need to replace their ruined things.
All parties, please use your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff rented a portion of her house out to the defendant. The defendant's mother got so drunk that the plaintiff said, you guys have got to go. Now, the defendant says that the plaintiff was the drinker and she ruined their stuff by putting it out in the rain. It's the case of boozy news.
Thank you, Douglas. Anne-Marie Mahoney.
Yes,
you
Your
are
Honor.
suing Eric Viana and Amber Peters for $1,500 for rent and damages. You are counterclaiming against your former landlord $2,700 for rent and items that you say you will have to replace, which I'll find out why in a moment. Go ahead.
Well, shortly, Your Honor, there are two Peters in this case. There's Miss Peters and her fiancé, Mr. Viana, and then it's her mother. I served these tenants with a vacated will.
Well, back it up. You were dating her mother.
For about a week, and it was not conducive to my lifestyle, Your Honor.
You dated her mother for a week?
Yes, ma'am.
And then, but wait, you dated her mother after you rented to them, or that's why you rented to them?
That's why I rented.
After you're dating somebody a week, you make a decision like that?
Well, I had heart surgeries, and I was in ICU, and I was a little incoherent.
How did you meet her mother?
On Craigslist to paint rooms, and I hired her to do some work in my house.
Okay.
And
then you had heart problems?
Yes, ma'am. I had 2 heart surgeries, a stent put in my heart, and
But that was before you met her?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And the second one was the week that I met her.
And the second one was, well, how'd you date? You didn't even date her for a week. You were in ICU. Would you date her for a day?
Pretty much, yes.
Okay.
And
then she tells you, my daughter and her fiance are looking for a place to live.
Well, she knew I was renting the upstairs, and she had mentioned that her daughter and son-in-law and 20-month-old toddler, and I said, okay, and I met them. Seemed like a nice young couple.
Okay, so really she's just the referral for who you ended up
Yes.
renting to. So you rent to them. They have a 20-month-old toddler.
Right.
And how many bedrooms is up there?
It was 2.5 bedrooms.
Okay, and then what goes wrong?
With the mother being found on the floors and being taken out in ambulances, it was pretty bad.
What was she taken away in an ambulance for?
Trying to commit suicide, cutting herself, 4 times in handcuffs.
In the 1 week?
No, since they moved in.
Oh, so you ended up dating the mom for how long?
A week, and then I didn't want to be with her anymore.
Okay, so when did the stuff you're describing happen? Because you have a very action-packed week between ICU for your heart and ambulances coming and these people moving in.
I served them. They moved in.
They move in what month?
May 18th.
Okay.
2017.
When does she get taken away in an ambulance for trying to kill herself?
2 days after they had moved in, I believe.
Okay, and why was she with you when she was trying to kill herself?
She was upstairs in their storage room with a teddy bear and sliced her femoral artery, and I had to call an ambulance.
Okay, how did you find out that had happened?
I found drops of blood all over the place, and I followed the trail of blood.
Were they there when this happened?
They were en route moving down with a U-Haul truck.
So she goes to the hospital and they stitch her up?
They put her in a psychiatric ward. She was there for several weeks, came home.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear about this. Is she better?
She's doing well now.
Okay.
Better.
So you come in with the U-Haul, you move in. Mm-hmm. You're living there for how long? From May 18th to when?
We had left June 10th, around that time.
So how long were you there?
Very shortly. I'm sorry. I think it was July 10th.
Okay. They move in. Is everybody in agreement that they moved in May 18th?
Yes.
And then what happened with the rent for May?
I didn't charge them any, Your Honor.
Okay. So the first day to charge rent is June 1st.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And by June 1st, had you told them, listen, this isn't going to work out, you guys got to go?
Not at that point.
Okay. So on June 1st, did they pay rent?
Yes.
Everybody's in agreement with that. Then July 1st came, did they pay rent?
Eric paid $250 because at that point now I had served him and noticed a tendency at will to vacate.
Okay. What day do you give him a notice to vacate?
The first notice I gave him was June 6th to vacate, and then Ms. Peters took me to housing court.
Okay. So what do you take her to housing court for?
Well, the second day that we were there, she tried to run my mother over with her truck. I have a police report. Well, she got in her truck and went in anger, trying to run her over. My mother called me, said call the police.
Do you have the police report?
Yes, Your Honor.
May I have it? And then what other incidents was there that brought you to housing court?
Well, she refused us access to the home. We left to go stay at a hotel to...
No, wait, before you leave, she refused to give you access to what part of the home? Any of it?
Any of it at all.
Like, how did she refuse?
I have text messages from her telling us that we were not allowed back in the home, that if we wanted to ever come to the door, we needed to have a police with us, and we did. Every single time we did go.
This is after you paid June rent?
Yes. After we paid July rent.
Oh, after you
which
paid
we
July
did
rent.
pay. We
So
did.
you
We
paid, well, you paid
$700.
$250. How much was your rent?
We paid $700.
For July?
Yes, we
Do you
did.
have proof that you paid $700?
Yes,
ma'am.
May I
She-
see that?
It's this
What do
one.
you say they paid in July?
$250
Okay.
cash.
These are the text messages. I
I'm
have.
sorry, wait, don't go to the next thing. First, I'd like to see proof of $750. What is it you handed my bailiff?
That is the July agreement.
Yes. Where that's after
Hold
we
on
had
one
already
second.
paid her the $700.
She herself wrote that out, saying.
Okay, but this doesn't prove you paid July $700. This proves you're supposed to pay July $700. So do you have proof you paid July $700? It should look like a receipt for $700.
When we asked her for
Then
proof,
don't give her the cash.
She didn't give it.
Yeah, well
That's
then
what
don't
she
give her
gave
cash.
us.
You know how she knows how to take a piece of paper and write something on it, and you know how to receive it. Because now I've got you claiming you paid $7, and I've got her acknowledging that you only paid $250. That's all you're going to get credit for.
Right, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Every single time that we tried to get her to sign anything or do anything that was well
Then
documented,
don't give her
she
the money.
refused.
But just then don't give her the money. I don't understand. The money's in your hands. Don't let go. Say, I'm going to need a receipt for that. No.
You're right. You're right.
That's all you got to do. Do you have the housing court petition?
Yes, I
that
do.
you filed? May I see it?
Yes, I believe this is it right here.
So what you state is the one thing, locking me out of my residence, that we are not to return to the dwelling. This is on 7/12 and 7/11. After you had accepted $250 for July, she stated that she had received our keys and noticed that we did not live there, and that was completely fictional. We have had to receive police assistance on both dates just to enter the property. And she has made it very clear, you can't do this.
Yep.
So what ended up happening? You guys settle in, you both parties end up in housing court, and there is an order after listening to both of you, and was this considered a settlement or the court's order?
The court's order.
Okay, so you guys didn't negotiate this. This is like, you're going to do this, you're going to do that.
Yes,
and what this first justice said is the landlord is ordered not to take any steps to dispossess the defendant's tenants or limit their access to the rooms they've rented. The parties are ordered not to have any personal contact with each other unless there is a bona fide emergency. All right. And then what happens? This is all entered into July 18th. What do you guys end up doing? You end up just moving out?
Well, we had no choice because she did not follow the order.
All right, so you end up taking your stuff out what day?
On 8/6, August 6th. I actually have the police report here written out by the officer who was present regarding that very day and incident when we went to get our belongings.
Let me see it. You're suing them for the rest of July, even though you're not letting them in July.
Because Mr. Viana had asked me, please, Anne-Marie, let us stay an extra month because we got to look for a place. I said, okay, fair enough, not a problem. And I believe
Except you didn't let them come in.
I did, Your Honor.
Their entire case in housing court was about you not letting them come in on several dates in July. And you're fighting it saying, well, they're crazy and I don't want, there's all kinds of crazy stuff happening in my house and I don't want them there. It's not, I let them in. I don't know what you're talking about.
They had keys, Your Honor. And also, if you would view some of the video footage of the police, of me asking the police, he said, well, you're stopping them from coming in. I said, I'm not stopping them. They have keys. However, they were running amok through my entire house. Mr. Viana was leaving the gate open for my animals to run out to the street. Miss Peters would come in through another door. They only
So
had...
you're suing for the rest of July rent because according to you, you didn't stop them from living there.
Their property was still there.
Okay. And you're suing for August rent.
Their
Why?
property was still there. Their property
Okay.
is still at my home.
So you're suing for September and October?
I don't know, Your Honor.
All right.
They're suing me
Cost to
for...
replace stolen bathroom fixtures. Show me a picture of the stolen bathroom fixtures.
There you go.
Did you guys steal the bathroom
I
pictures?
have the before
No, Your
and
Honor,
the
we've
after
never
pictures.
stolen anything from her.
Do we have before and after here?
No, that's the
How are they
bathroom,
missing?
Pictures. of
Well, a lot of our stuff is missing as well.
Right, but that's because you left it there, right? After all how many police escorts did you have there?
Maybe 2 or 3.
Okay, and why is it that you guys are having repeated trips to get there and over, and you instead of just getting your stuff out?
Because as the police officer states in that report, she made it incredibly difficult to come and get our stuff. In her eyes, we were going to go there, and it was going to be, you go in this room while I watch you, and we have a 2-year-old with us. We have to get on with our day. We couldn't do it, room by room with her standing over our shoulder.
Why does that make it take any longer?
Well, we were staying in a hotel as well. We didn't have a place to live at the time. So
Wait, is it that you didn't have a place to put it?
Yes.
No, ma'am.
Yeah, it is.
Partially,
And that's
yes.
not an option for you. You don't get to store things there. What is this, a broken toilet seat?
Yes, that's.
And according to you, they broke it? Did
Yes,
that happen?
ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No.
The only other times that we were there physically in the house was with a police escort. There was always a police officer walking with us and walking with Miss Mahoney.
We never had an opportunity to break or damage any of her property. And in the lease that she amended for July, she had every opportunity to not write that lease because of any damages that she thought that we had caused. And shortly after that, we were out and did not return without a police escort. We had no chance to cause any damages.
I have the date.
Change of locks.
Yes, ma'am. I was ordered that I couldn't change the locks until they were,
But why would they have to pay you $300 for a change of locks?
well, after 14 police escorted trips to my
I
home.
know why
they-
you would like them
they
to.
would-
Yeah, but they're saying they're only having to get police escorts because of you. So, but I know
They
why
wouldn't
you want to
return the
change the locks.
keys.
I'm saying why is that their burden to pay you for?
They didn't return the keys. I have a police officer recorded video here.
Let's see your video. The cost to repaint, garbage disposal cost.
Yes, ma'am. I have
Cost to fix holes in the walls. Do you have pictures of the holes in the wall?
Oh.
No, go back to the lectern. Hand my bail.
No, this way.
Go back to the. That's
There we
There
go.
you
That's
go.
how
All
you do a
right,
thing.
this is the mother coming down the stairs with her TV and me trying to safeguard their furniture.
okay.
I'd like for you to play this one first.
She can't go up there, guys. Now this is a problem. That's her daughter's belongings.
The TV down. Put the TV back up there.
This is my TV.
Put the TV.
You
know what? We're done. The TV's not
Listen,
leaving.
it had a bow on it. My daughter's.
TV back up.
It is my TV.
TV goes back up.
Everybody knows it's my TV.
She says it's not.
But it's not to her.
You can go to court and.
No, okay.
And the judge will determine. No, you're not. We're done.
But I live here. Why does she decide what's mine and
We're
what's
done.
not?
We're done. You guys can go to court and you can dispute over every single item in front of a judge.
I was trying to safeguard their property, Ronna.
Oh, that's helpful when you call the officer and. Okay, what am I supposed to learn from this that has anything to do with this case?
Well, this case, Your Honor, if you...
The answer's nothing. All right.
Yes.
Now you've got a lawsuit against a counterclaim against her for $750 for July rent, which you have no receipt for. So we've been over that, right?
This is all property
And
that they-
according to you, she took your money. What's your version on this? She took your money for July rent, July 1st. When do you say that she stopped letting you in?
After they had another huge blowout,
Who's they?
Miss Mahoney and my mother-in-law.
Okay.
Up till 3, 4 in the morning, drinking, fighting. There's blood. Knives. Cops are involved. My mother-in-law actually has her mouth wired shut right now as we speak because of an incident with Miss Mahoney. So
I think it was July.
So in July 12th,
was
we
the day
left
that we
because
left
of one
and
of
didn't
those incidents. We went to a hotel to remove our 2-year-old from the situation. Once we left, she started messaging us saying, don't come back
Let me see the
without the
messages.
police.
Okay, so who's more abusive? Tenants who abuse apartments or landlords who abuse tenants? What do you say?
I would say the landlord who abused the tenants.
Why?
Because I just had certain situations that I've been in where the landlord kind of abused me. When I was like moving out, like dropping my key off, and he said I didn't drop the key off, and then tried to take my security deposit.
I get it. Who thinks tenants are more abusive? Anybody? What do you say?
I think tenants sometimes feel that, well, they're not the owner, so it's not their problem.
They can do whatever they want with the property.
Exactly.
Got your point. Going inside the courtroom.
The ones that are important are circled and tabbed.
The pages that have tabs are circled what's important.
Got it. Here are the texts. You rent rooms on the top floor on a month-to-month basis. It is not your home. It is my home. It is not your dwelling. You left, and that is documented in police. That's by July 12th, and yet she's asking for rent. All right. And you're telling her, you can't deny us access to our home. If you want us to have a police escort every time we come to our dwelling, I don't think they're going to like that very much, but that's all right. Do not enter without one, and that is July 12th. Why on earth would you be entitled to July rent? We haven't received our 30-day notice to vacate, so until then, this month-to-month lease is valid, but okay, we'll just give you our official notice to vacate when we come by tonight to grab more things. It couldn't be more reasonable. Okay. Well, it's clear from the text that she wasn't letting you in, even though the judge made very clear that she had to let you in. Now, July 18th, you have texts after that where she doesn't let you in?
Yeah.
July 18th is the day that everybody goes to court.
I think it's page 11 that specifies that our stuff has been thrown outside the house.
And let me read it now, right? Okay. She's trying to kick me out. I didn't even do anything. And you're telling her, I told you, don't say I didn't warn you.
Yes.
She thinks I'm in on it. Mom, I'm sorry. You're going through this again, but you absolutely did this thing to yourself. Yes, she's crazy. What were you thinking of going back there? So what's August 4th? So what's going on now? We kiss and made up. I'm staying here. Psycho. Has all your stuff in the barn now. I put it there, and I took the TV, but she video recorded me. Now she knows you're planning on not cleaning up, so she locked up on your stuff. I'm so drunk. Oh, my God. I love her.
That's actually Anne-Marie.
That's your mother texting you.
No, it's Anne-Marie. She tells me it's Anne-Marie after a few texts. She goes, that was Anne-Marie. Sorry.
May I ask what phone number
Never
that's
go
coming
away,
from?
little Gigi. I hear welfare is now feeding you and yours. You'll love to see your mama. And so...
And that's on my mother-in-law's
coming down
phone.
the stairs with your... Tell Eric to man up and feed his kids. Leave welfare. Damn punk. Needed an old dyke to handle his business. Ha ha, what a joke of a man. This is all on your mother's phone?
My
Why
mother
are you
would-
texting on the mother's phone?
Your Honor.
Oh, you totally
The
texted.
mother has been in jail.
No, do you hear? Me pica aquí, me raca aquí.
Sí.
It itches me here, and you scratch me here. I am asking you. This is very clearly you, and
Yes,
not her
ma'am.
mother talking to her. I've seen how her mother sounds talking to her. You took her mother's phone, and you're texting all this
ma'am.
horrible stuff to her.
Your Honor, I dotted my I's, I
Why
crossed my
would you
T's.
do this? Why would you send all
I
this
did
stuff
not.
insulting
Her
him?
mother has been imprisoned by the doors
I need you to
broken
listen.
for the
her
police.
Her mother.
But you're
did it-
assuming I made the texts.
Oh, I totally know that you made the text.
No, ma'am, I did
know
not.
you made the
I
text
have my
from her
own
mother's phone.
phone.
Yeah, I know. But
I
you
have,
made them from her
her mother
mother's
hasn't
phone.
been in
'cause
my
that's
home.
creepier.
Would you like to see documentation?
No, I would not. Please stop talking.
Okay. Well, I think, Your Honor,
Eric
you're
took it to
prejudging.
the shower, rod and hose. She's making me pay for the rod and hose. Did you
May
take
I
that?
send this up to the judge?
No.
The mother's been in New
There we go.
Hampshire.
So did her mother say to her, off slime bag word? That's her mother?
Your Honor, I have my own phone. If you'd
Stop
like
talking,
to go to all
please.
my texts,
She
you're
said
more
you
than
were
welcome.
both ghetto dirtbags that lived like animals. This is your mother saying
third
that's what
party
she said.
hearsay.
And that she is selling the couches to a girl for $150. I have to fix everything you both broke. So she does imply that you guys broke stuff. What did you break?
No, that was still Anne-Marie.
That was still Anne-Marie.
No, I can.
What
Let me
she-
tell you something,
she-
guys. I can tell when it's one voice and when it's the other voice.
Right.
Anne-Marie wouldn't say. Anne-Marie said you guys are ghetto dirtbags because that would make Anne-Marie look bad. I know who's. I've been doing this a long, long time. Okay, you're 24. I'm not.
Judge, we did not break anything in her home.
Give me the pictures of everything you say they broke. These are them, right?
Yes, and I have one more, Your Honor, that'll show their mattresses and dresses in a barn that her mother.
What is left in there in the barn?
A brown dresser, a blue and white striped dresser, her daughter's crib, her daughter's mattress, boxes, her daughter's toys, her daughter's clothes, some other boxes of kitchen utensils. I couldn't tell you what's in the boxes. August 23rd.
You need to pick up your stuff. Why is your stuff still there? You're suing for $1,000 instead of going to get it.
Because she blocked us from
No,
coming back.
she didn't block anything. You are allowed to go there with a police escort. You have a court order. There's no reason not to.
I was under the impression that it was
Okay,
thrown
your
away.
impressions aren't evidence. So I'm going to give you a court order that lets you do that. Get the rest of your stuff out.
Well, it may still be in the barn, but I was told by my mother, I was told by her
we're
that
done.
it got
We're
thrown
done.
away.
Let's go through this lawsuit. Okay, $450 for the balance of the July rent. You got to be kidding me,
Your Honor.
No. Let me tell you what happens now. I don't want to hear a peep from anybody. You have got to be kidding me. You turn around and I mean it. If you say another word, I'm going to throw you out. Don't say another word. You have a court order that you flew directly in the face of, sending texts that say, you can't come in here, you can't come in here, and then you still don't let them in after the court order unless they have a police escort?
Because Miss Peters assaulted me.
You know what? Y'all deserve each other, honestly. So no, I'm not going to make them pay July rent. I am certainly not going to make them pay August rent. I don't even know how that would even come up. I have no idea how that would come up. You deny them access to getting there, and then you still want them to pay August rent. Okay.
I'd like them to return their keys.
Well, you change the locks because you're suing for $300 for that.
Except the lock that they have the keys to.
All right. How on earth would it ever be $550 to replace stolen bathroom fixture?
They took the curved rod, they took the plumbing fixtures. There's the broken fan. Here's all their debris.
Okay, here's what I want from you. I want from you the picture of the broken ceiling fan.
Right here.
Got it. And then I want from you the picture of the holes in the wall and exposed wiring that they caused.
Right here.
Did you guys take the blades?
Ma'am, what had happened is that ceiling fan was very low to the ground. So one day Amber lifted her arm and one of the fan blades broke off.
So where are the blades?
I actually paid her to replace the blades.
And you have proof you paid her? Nope. Okay.
No.
Like she said, it's all by honor, right?
No, there's no honor here.
Right.
Clearly, yes.
Okay. We wouldn't be in this mess had there been adherence to the interim court order on the 18th to allow them to stay there. We wouldn't be in this mess if it hadn't gotten this nasty that they didn't feel safe staying there either. And that is something that I'm going to be taking into consideration. I do see stuff missing, and I know how much anger was involved in this. And there are some damages there that you guys are going to have to pay for. Is it what she's saying? No. First of all, the broken ceiling fan, you have no proof because you don't have any receipt for having already paid her for that. So I'm ordering you to, I think $125 is reasonable for installing a new fan there. I'm not going to order you to pay rent because it is very obvious that she didn't, after you paid whatever little portion of July rent you did pay, that you weren't allowed back in there. Based on the damages I'm looking at, I'm going to give an estimate of about $300 in damages. And I'm going to order that $425 are due to her for the damages that have occurred. You don't have to pay $300 to change locks with no receipt, $500 for stolen bathroom with no invoice. All of these other numbers that she arrives at are just silly.
May I?
No, you may not talk ever again in my courtroom.
Must be the sexuality thing.
No, it's not. And I resent that. And you know what? Get out of my courtroom.
Yes,
Get
ma'am.
out. I resent that. Not only because I have family members who would be very offended by what you just said. Get out of here and stop playing victim. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Step out. Step out. How dare she? Listen, as to the stuff that's still there, I'm going to issue an order that gives you, make it quick. How long is it going to take you to get the stuff out of there?
We could do it in a day. Now that we have somewhere to live.
No,
and we
I
have
mean
the
how
means
much time from now? Like, I'm going to give you 5 days. That's enough for you to do it? Or within a week?
Sunday, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that way you have, all right. So I will give you a week, but try to get it done this weekend. An order that says that you can go over there to pick up the rest of the stuff that's been left there.
Thank
okay?
you.
I am finding that she is owed $425 in damages that you guys committed. However, I am finding that because of her illegal lockout, that you are entitled to $425 in damages for what it put you through that month. Therefore, you do not have to pay any of the damages.
Thank you,
Because she
Your Honor.
can't take the law into her own hands. Okay? That's what we're here for, so that that doesn't happen. She acknowledges you paid rent, and then there's a million texts saying, you're not allowed in here, don't you dare come back. She can't do that. That is an illegal lockout, and she can't do it. All right? That's my judgment.
Well, in a rather riveting lawsuit, the plaintiff has been thrown out of the courtroom. She has gone, and it's over. No money's going to pass hands. How do you feel about what just went on in here?
Well, I'm happy that it's all over. It was brutal.
Sounds like a mess.
Yeah, yes.
I mean-
Yes, you're right.
To put it mildly.
Absolutely.
Are you two okay now? I mean, you're living happily in a safe place? Your kids okay?
You betcha, yep. Everything is much better now.
Well, thank you very much, okay?
Thank
Sorry you had to go through this. Harvey?
Okay, Doug. Well, I gotta say, I kind of expected this, but we did some checking, and the plaintiff did not allow the defendants to come pick up their stuff.
This is the plaintiff. Kira Gatling. She says she and her boyfriend rented a 2-bedroom apartment from the defendant, and boy, was that a mistake. She was abruptly served eviction papers after she complained about possible lead in the apartment. And she's here in the name of what's right, suing for the $10,100 she surely owed. This is the defendant, Shirley Peretz. She says she got a bunch of excessive noise complaints from the other tenants in the building, complaining about the loud, unruly plaintiff and her kids. So she told her she had to leave. After she left, she contacted an attorney who started complaining about a lead certificate. And here they are. She's accused of being terrible to her tenants. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $4,147 for all she's out.
All parties, please use your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says that she is the victim of retaliation. She complained to the landlord that there might be lead in the paint on the walls and got evicted as a result. But the defendant says the woman was loud, her kids were unruly, and she had no right to break her lease. It's the case of premature eviction.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
All right, Ms. Gatlin, you are suing your former landlord, Shirley Peretz, for $10,100 in damages. According to you, she's keeping your security deposit, so you're asking for double that. But then you're suing for $2,190 again after that, so you've lost me. Are you trying to get your security deposit back 3 times?
Oh, no, not at all. So Miss Peretz, she knowingly took an additional security deposit, which is illegal in Philadelphia. You're not allowed to take 2 security deposits.
I'm still trying to figure out what you're asking for, because in your first line of what you're asking for is $2,190 twice. You see, so you're already asking for double $2,190. Then you're asking for another $2,190. But wasn't that $2,190 already taken care of in your first request?
I see. Okay.
All right, no, let's not spend another second on it. Let me talk about attorney's fees. You ended up having to pay an attorney $1,625. So you're trying to recoup that now, correct?
That is correct.
But didn't the settlement that you arrived at in landlord-tenant court say everybody ate their own attorney's fees?
To be honest, I am not sure about that.
I am. All right. And then the $3,000 is for emotional distress. Tell me about that.
Oh, yes. Ms. Peretz, she threatened to, I have twin toddlers. At the time, they were 2.5, and I had a 5-year-old. When I was shown the apartment in July, there was carpet in the apartment. However, when we moved in, there was not carpet. And that was one of the requirements for when I was moving, because I'm aware that I have 3 kids and toddlers have clumpy feet. So within a month, we started receiving a lot of phone calls and complaints from Ms. Peretz about the noise that our children were making. And we were also faced with eviction threats if we don't contain the noise. So that's.
And what were they complaining about? The pitter patter of their feet or the yelling?
So they were complaining about everything.
And who's they? The people who lived underneath you?
It's the people that lived underneath me, and then also right next to us, because it's like a duplex. It's an older building.
Okay. Yeah. How long did you live there?
I lived there from August 1st to January 30th of 2020.
Okay. But why would you be entitled to $3,000 in emotional distress? Tell me how she emotionally distressed you.
Sure. There was a lot of anxiety. The anxiety coming from her ignoring my complaints about the downstairs neighbor's son banging on so it was his ceiling, our ground, almost every morning, yelling profanities at my children. So all went ignored.
But it wasn't. Why does she have to pay you $3,000 when you've told me yourself that all of the neighbors were complaining? That's not like she would prefer the neighbors didn't complain. How is it? How does she have to pay you $3,000 because she had to keep telling you about the neighbors' complaints?
My children, they have the right to be children. Also, they're toddlers and they have naturally clumpy feet. And also there were instances where I received harassing texts from her, and these were very condescending texts.
Like what?
Referring to. So this is a text sent on December 5th. It's the same day that she sent us the notice to vacate. And this is It's a charge from my ex-boyfriend. It has nothing to do with me, but it was domestic. And she sends a screenshot, and then she says, I can certainly understand why you and your children are scared of him. I can also see that I made a mistake trying to be nice to you.
So she sends you a text, and she's screenshot something from somewhere that says that your former boyfriend has been charged with simple assault, recklessly endangering another person, harassment, and endangering the welfare of a child. He pistol whipped a victim who suffered lacerations following a heated custody exchange. Okay, I have some very distinct ideas of who that victim was. And
actually wasn't me.
Everything that you're saying is stuff that could have, should have, and probably was brought up in court, because your court was on January 15th of 2020. So, you know, if you, like, these are all things that the judge accounted for, and then there's a settlement in court. So let me ask you a question. What you've got on that side still is $21.90, which you feel she has held on to too much of, right?
That is correct.
That's really what your lawsuit is, that you want your security deposit back. Now, let's understand, Ms. Peretz, let's talk to you now about your counterclaim. You have $21.90 of her dollars, and you're suing for an additional $41.47? What are you doing?
It's really supposed to be for attorney fees and February rent, because I sued for ongoing rent.
Okay, why would she owe you February rent when she got out at the end of January, which is what was envisioned by the settlement?
The property was damaged, and I had to repair it, so I lost out on February rent.
Well, let's talk about the damages. Tell me the damages to the apartment that you felt kept you from re-renting it. Go ahead.
Kira moved in the beginning of August. In September, I was away on a business trip, and I received a call from her letting me know that her and Raekwon had had a domestic dispute, and he had kicked in the front door, but that she didn't want me to be concerned, that she would get it repaired and take care of it.
So do you have pictures of the front door, and what was the problem?
I submitted those pictures.
You did, but the only picture I have of the front door, I'm going to put up now on the screen.
Yeah, it was after it was partially repaired already.
Okay, but it doesn't show a front door that's broken.
That is the front door.
Yeah. Where is the door broken?
See the frame? The whole frame has to be replaced. Yes, I see a frame that has to be replaced.
I don't see a door that has to be replaced. You sent a letter to her saying you were keeping $500 for that. Today in your lawsuit, you were asking for $1,020 for that. You can see where maybe I'm a little suspicious that you're angry that you had to take her to court. So I need to be extra sure that what your damages are, because you have so much reason to be angry about how the way things went. And if the only picture you show me of the front door shows that you need a molding, how on God's green earth do you think I'm going to award you $1,250? I need to see the damaged door.
Unfortunately, I took that picture after the door was replaced.
Okay. Do you have a receipt for the replacement of the door?
I don't have that receipt with me.
What happened to the door, Ms. Gaitlin?
Yes, we had a disagreement, and I locked the door. He broke the door. I was not happy about it.
So what was broken? Exactly what did he break?
He broke the panel of the door, so the interior left panel.
So when you say panel, you're referring to this picture? Take a look at the picture.
That is correct, yes.
Okay. Did he break the lock?
He did not break the lock.
Did he break the actual door, the thing that opens and closes? Did he punch a hole through it or anything like that?
No, he did not, Your Honor.
Okay. You're asking for attorney's fees, but what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Your settlement agreement says everybody's eating their own attorney's fees, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so you can't get attorney's fees. Repainting living room walls. Did you submit pictures about why you had to repaint the living room walls? No.
They hadn't.
You have a picture of the blinds in the living room, and you have a picture of the blinds in the bedroom. Certainly those two things should be compensated for. Now let's talk about the TV mount, the removal of the TV mount. You actually don't contest that. And the amount for the living room closet, Ms. Gatlin, you also don't contest. Okay, we have $245 that you're charging for repainting the living room walls. According to you, Ms. Gatlin, she didn't have to repaint the living room walls. And according to you, Ms. Peretz, why did you have to repaint them?
It was just the one, not all of the walls, just the one wall where the TV mount was.
Okay. I'm going to allow $150 for the molding that needs to be replaced on the front door. I'm going to allow the entire $245 for repainting the wall with the mount. I'm going to allow $125, which is what you claim you paid, even though you have no receipts. That doesn't sound like an unreasonable amount for the TV mount, and in particular because in the plaintiff's complaint, she says she doesn't contest that. I'm going to allow $107 for the blinds and $170 for the closet door. That totals $797. That does not total $2,190. That means that the plaintiff is owed $1,393 in the security deposit back. So then the issue is, you have thrown in another $1,095 for February rent because the damages were so extensive you couldn't rent the place out. However, all you really had to do was remove the TV mount, replace 3 blinds, and paint the living room. And that should not have caused you to lose February's rent. So you don't get February rent. All right, where did you get the idea that she could not charge you 2 months' rent as a security deposit?
Yes. So first I contacted a free tenant union representative network, and that's where I was first because I was unknowing of this law.
Some states allow you to get 2 full months of rent as security. Some states limit you to 1.5. Some states on the second year of a lease make you give back a little security. There's all kinds of stuff. I don't know what current, and that stuff changes. So you want to stay current on that. It doesn't matter for my purposes because what I've got to determine, all right, is how much you're supposed to get back. I know you have $2,190 there. I know that I have found that there's $797 worth of damage, so I know how to do the math. So based on everything I've gone over, I am ordering the defendant to give the plaintiff $1,393, and that now shall conclude the saga of your lives. There should not be a, son of King Kong 3, okay? Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Let's see how the defendant feels about this, Ms. Peretz. The judge did a lot of math, a lot of figuring. What do you think about the outcome?
I think the judge was very fair. I should have had the credit card receipts, from my contractor for the work that he did. So I certainly do understand her taking that into consideration. So in lieu of the evidence that was presented, I think she was very fair. I think that Kira Gatling is an opportunist and was just trying to kind of squeeze out whatever she could, and the judge saw through that, and I'm grateful for that.
All right, Ms. Gatling, let me ask you for your impression of the outcome.
Sure. I am happy for that amount just to have all of this over with. The amount of harassment that myself and my children have had to endure from Ms. Peretz has just been a nightmare, to say the least. So I am satisfied. I think that the judge was very fair, and I have nothing else to say. I'm happy that it's over.
All right. You got out at the end of January. How about where you're living now? Are things better where you are now?
Oh, yes. Things are a lot better now. Thank you.
Well, good. Congratulations.
Doug, there is such a thing called retaliatory eviction, but that means that, for example, if you call the building department because the landlord has done something that breaks the law and then the landlord retaliates against you, that's one thing. That is not what happened here, and that's why the plaintiff didn't prove the case.
What makes you laugh the most, if you had to pick something?
Well, I've seen every episode of The Office like 6 times, probably.
It's a total addiction at our house.
Yeah, it's like
we
basically
watch it over and over and over because it's hilarious.
Steve Carell definitely makes me laugh. John Mulaney makes me laugh. You make me laugh on a day-to-day basis, which is nice. That's a nice way to go through life.
Yeah, I've always thought.
Sarcasm makes me laugh.
Yes, definitely.
My litigants make me laugh.
Your job makes you laugh. Let's face it.
This job makes me laugh.
Which is great, because when I was a judge, there weren't that many laughs on the bench.
It's
and as a prosecutor, there weren't that many laughs. So when you got home, that's the one thing you really wanted to do, right? Sit down, we would watch The Office, all
South Park
7 seasons. We watched South Park a lot. And I'm with you. Steve Carell, he's got to be the funniest man alive.